All right, we are live on YouTube. Welcome to Navigating the Modern World with Coach Eli. Glad you could all join me here tonight on Coach Eli 22222. Coach Eli 2 Uncensored Live Streams. I have a great show planned for you folks here tonight. We're going to be giving some more dating advice, regarding this crazy modern dating world that we're all currently living in. We're going to get to that in just a little bit here. But before we get to that, let me first of all make sure that everything is rolling smoothly. Let me make sure that the back end of YouTube is rolling normally. There we go. It is rolling normally. And let me make sure that the notification has gone out. And it absolutely has. Welcome to the show, everyone. We're just going to get right to it because I have 4 great Reddit postings to dissect here with you tonight. So let's just get to it. The title of this stream is Addressing Gender Entitlement plus More Dating Advice. One more time, Addressing Gender Entitlement plus More Dating Advice. Before I switch on over to the browser screen and get right to it, let me make you all aware that there's been a lot of content coming out lately from my end, more so on my other channel. This is my secondary channel, Coach Eli 2, but if you aren't aware, I do have a main channel with about 6.4K subscribers, and there are over 1,000 videos on there between live stream replays and pre-recorded content, YouTube shorts, and even some members-only content. This week, I've been putting out some pre-recorded videos that I shot last week from a beautiful location of the San Francisco Bay Trail in San Mateo, California. Walking with Purpose pre-recorded in 4K at 60 frames per second. And I released my second episode of the week today. Released one yesterday, and I will be releasing 3 more at 2 p.m. Eastern, 11 a.m. Pacific tomorrow, Thursday, and Friday as well. So go on over to my other channel, Coach Eli, Elias Melas, if you want to check that out. Also, I did a Walking with Purpose stream earlier today with a great topic. It's not about what you know, it's about who you know, right? I just did that a couple hours ago, then did a quick turnaround, and here I am back live on Coach Eli 2. So go to my main channel, Coach Eli, Elias Melas. Nightbot will eventually pop on in here and share the link every 7 minutes. But just in case, you can also go to youtube.com/Life Coach Eli. That's youtube.com/Life Coach Eli. All right. So let's go ahead and switch on over to the browser source and get right to the first of 4 postings. We're going to go over the first 2. During this segment, take a break, and then come back for the last 2. And folks, it is very, very hot here in the San Francisco Bay Area today. We hit about 104, 105 degrees here earlier today in Redwood City, California, and the rest of the Bay Area has had similar temperatures. It's still in the high 90s, mid to high 90s, and I got my fan on. So just want you to know, in case I need to stop and take some more sips of my drinks than normal, forgive me. It is just very, very warm here, and I talk a lot, so I'll be getting dehydrated easily. So let's get to the first posting here. This is from the Purple Pill Debate subreddit, and the original poster's title is How to Address Gender Entitlement. One more time, How to Address Gender Entitlement. Question for men. Very interesting. I thought it was a very interesting posting. I'll put my own spin on it here with you folks. I'm curious about the mindset that I see online and in person. Men seem entitled to sex and relationships. That's not necessarily true. Men seem to think they are entitled to that, and they are absolutely not entitled to that. And the same goes for women. In my opinion, and it should be a fact, that attraction is a choice. Sorry, it's not a choice. I screwed that up. It's the weather getting to me. Attraction is a must and not a choice. And nothing will ever come out of anything between a man and a woman or any other type of relationship unless both parties have attraction for each other. It's either going to be there or it isn't. So no one is entitled to anything. The men that feel they are entitled to this are very insecure and weak men, and men that have difficulty getting women because they lack self-confidence, they don't take care of themselves, yada, yada, yada. They project their insecurities, blah, 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 right? But no one is entitled to anything. To the extreme, some men lash out violently when they do not get women. That's because they're insecure, they're weak, they're immature, they lack emotional self-control. They didn't get enough strokes as a little kid. They're out of shape. They have no social skills. They lack social skills. That's why they're not getting women. If they focus on turning their lives around, getting in better shape, wearing better clothing, brushing up on their social skills, etc., then they will naturally attract women. That's why they're lashing out violently, because they're unhappy within themselves. They don't love themselves. It all starts with loving yourself. I've said it time and time again, and I'll continue saying it until I'm black and blue or 6 feet under, whichever comes first, or both. Anyway, some go as far as killing their wives, exes, girlfriends, so that no one else can have them. Some say they should be given wives. Again, no one is entitled to anything. Attraction is a must and not a choice. And if you can't get a woman, or if you can get a woman and can't keep her around, it is because of either how you showed up initially or how you changed showing up while in the relationship or the marriage. You can't do everything right just to get the woman and then stop doing everything right and expect to keep her around. Does that make sense? Come on. I'm a 27-year-old woman who has never been in a relationship and was last asked out when I was 21. Well, guys must be intimidated by you, ma'am. Either that, or you have your expectations set so high that no one wants to approach you. Maybe you're unapproachable. But I don't hold it against other people that they don't find me attractive or that they don't want to date me. Maybe you're out of shape. Maybe you're overweight. But even if you're in shape, it doesn't matter. It's your attitude. It's how you show up. Okay? You know, do you allow people to approach you? Are you approachable? Or do you make it difficult? I mean, sounds like to me that you've got some pretty high standards that you at least haven't mentioned here so far. I don't feel entitled to love, even though I watch popular media like sitcoms, rom-coms, etc., where the woman ends up in a relationship or in love. Don't ever believe what you see on TV. That's not how real life happens, okay? And on TV, you know, basically you have the man and the woman breaks up with the man chases the man begs for the woman back, the man buys the woman flowers, the man just, you know, chases, and then gets her back. That doesn't work in real life. In real life, if you do that, you're going to chase a woman right out of your life permanently, or even, you know, come off stalkerish or, you know, come off like you're harassing her or stalking her, and you'll probably end up getting a restraining order. So it doesn't work that way. That's what I'm trying to tell you folks. Do not sit there and let these romance, you know, comedies or sitcoms or romance movies, you know, lead you to believe that that's the way things are. It's not like that at all. Let's see. I don't relate to other women who get hit on or are dealing with DMs and juggling dates likes on dating apps. Well, those women are seeking validation, and most of those women are just trying to build up a social media presence to monetize it to the thirsty beta males. So that's all that's happening there. I've talked about before, which is what I'm trying to say, and I've said it again. That's all that's happening there. I'm also from a culture that prioritizes marriage. So it sounds like to me, you are living a structured, you have a structured belief system. And that's the reason why men are, you know, staying away from you. You're probably very attractive, but you're probably the type of woman that is a virgin and is going to remain a virgin until you get married. And the majority of men nowadays won't even go on a date with you if you make them aware that there's going to be no sex before marriage. It just, you know, that's just not happening nowadays. And I've come across many women like this, The moment that I found out about that, I stopped talking with them. I personally do not recommend dating people that have structured belief systems. You want to date people that are open-minded, laid back, and allow the natural flow of progression to take things where they're meant to go. That's the way it should be. Natural, right? Okay, let's see. I'm awkward and overweight with poor self-esteem. Well, that's why you're not getting any dates or no one's asking you out, because it's how you see yourself. And you're also not taking care of yourself. You say you're awkward, right? So that you're coming off awkward, and then people are saying, oh, she's awkward. Not only is she awkward, she's overweight, and she has poor self-esteem. She doesn't love herself. So why should I love her? There you go, ma'am. You answered your own question. But I don't blame others, especially men, for not wanting me. Then why don't you do something about it to turn it around? Do something. Hit the gym, start eating better, lose the weight, wear better clothing, brush up on your social skills, go out, join a meetup group, and, start socializing with people. And you'll find somebody within those groups. And as you lose the weight and you get better clothing, and you build your self-confidence, things will flow for you more naturally. Why are some men the opposite? Why do many externalize rather than internalize? I think you've got this all wrong, ma'am. I think, to be honest with you, you're a woman that's projecting your insecurities. You're basically, coming out and saying that, why men feel entitled to, what did you say up here? Men seem entitled to sex and relationships. There are some very attractive men that have great social skills, dress well, and can pick up women and have sex with them. And if it leads to a relationship, that's great. If not, it was a night of fun or whatever. And while I'm not a one-night stand kind of guy, there's nothing wrong with guys, doing that. Many women do that too. And quite frankly, when you first meet people nowadays, you don't meet and, immediately get into a relationship. Every single, relationship doesn't start off like one. It starts off as casual. So when you first meet someone, until you have that commitment, a few months into the relationship after, seeing each other for a while, if it even gets to that point, you're casually dating. So, ma'am, you're sitting here projecting, and getting kind of a little, fussy with men that are having luck with women because you're not having luck with men because of what you mentioned. You're awkward, overweight, with poor self-esteem. And then you say, but I don't blame others, especially men. But at the beginning of your posting, you're kind of whining about it. Come on, man. There's your answer right there. Let's go down to the comments section and read what some of the people wrote here. Hazy Memory 7 says, you don't. Those sorts of things come down to respect and human decency and have to be instilled in people during their upbringing by their parents and other adult figures in their lives. Well, yeah, your parents have a big part in, raising you and teaching you these things. Social skills, teaching you how to stay healthy and fit, teaching you how to dress properly, teaching you to be kind, yet, standing up for yourself and not letting people take advantage of you while being kind. Okay. But nowadays, not everyone has, not everyone is fortunate enough to have the best upbringing, which is what I'm trying to say. So for some people, you have to figure it out on your own. And it seems like this woman may not have had the best upbringing, and she's trying to figure it out on her own. At least she's coming out to a forum, putting it out there so she can get some feedback and start to try to turn her life around. I think she'll get there eventually. And the original poster responds and says, yes, absolutely. But what about those people who are given idyllic lives, like convicted rapist Brock Turner? It is scary to realize the boogeyman exists in plain sight. Ma'am, this is ridiculous. Why are you so focused on Brock Turner and other people's BS rather than just focusing on bettering yourself? That's all I'm going to say about that. I guess she's just bored because, she hasn't started to work on turning herself around so she can attract men. So she needs to fill in the time and the void, with talking about this BS. Rapist Brock Turner, who was convicted of not one, not two, but 3 counts of felony sexual assault. Brock Turner, yeah, we don't need to really get into this here. I'm not even going to read into this. Let's go down to some real comments here. People like that are psychopaths and unfortunately will always exist, but I think there are things that can be done to mitigate it, not mitigate it, to mitigate it. Police taking sexual assault and domestic abuse more seriously? Well, they don't take it seriously until it happens, right? You can't tell them, I think my man is going to sexually assault me, so I need a policeman to sit outside my place. They don't have the resources to do that. You just got to do a better job of choosing the right guys and properly vetting them, before, going out on dates with them or continuing to date them. Harsher sentencing for rape. In my opinion, someone who outright drugged and raped an unconscious woman like Brock Turner did irrefutably should get the death penalty. Well, I don't know if I'd go that far. But you may be right there. There are a lot of these guys that, rape women and do crazy things like that. Yeah, I mean, they do get sentenced for it, but, within a year or two or less, based on, good time based on good behavior, getting out early for good behavior, they're right back out on the street and then they're going to do the same thing. I get that. But I believe if they're repeat offenders, then their sentence, goes up. And here in the state of California, 3 strikes and you're out. If they do it 3 times, then they're in prison for life. Good men normalizing, respecting boundaries, and calling out men who don't. Okay. This would have then start talking women raping and sexually assaulting men, boys more seriously and giving women punishments just as bad. See, this is the ridiculous part of these people here on Reddit. Okay, this woman here is coming out here wondering why she can't get dates. And she's saying that men are entitled to, sex. And what did she say up here again? Men are entitled to sex and relationships. No, they're not. But she's saying that because she realizes that she's lacking what men want and she hasn't had luck with men. And instead of focusing on turning her life around and fixing those things so she can attract good men, she's sitting here talking about Brock Turner and so is everyone else. I mean, this is ridiculous. So let's go here. This is interesting. And this person agrees with me. None of these suggestions actually address the underlying problem. And in fact, probably would only make things worse. Also, death penalty for rape is not a road you want to go down. Yeah, I mean, right here, no one is talking about what she was talking about in the original posting. I mean, this whole, all these comments here have gone down a totally different path. Let's see if there are any real comments here. A guy once told me that, well, you are not that good looking anyway, and my low self-esteem ass took it as a compliment. Well, that's the way you should look at it. When people come at you in that way, they are projecting, right? Why would anyone attack someone else if they didn't feel you were in a better place than them, right? Look at it that way. So you should take it as a compliment. They're jealous of you, and they're just projecting. The whole thing was ridiculous. The guy invited me to a concert on a Wednesday at 11 p.m. As I had to wake up early for work, I said no, so he got very pissed. Well, he wanted to hang out with you late at night, go to the concert, get you drunk, and then have his way with you. And then you go home at 3 or 4 in the morning, drunk and all tired after having sex, and then have to get up a few hours later to shower and drive to work. Yeah, you made the right call on that one, man. I've had guys call me a hoe because I wouldn't sleep with them. I'm sorry. But how does that make me a hoe, good sir? It doesn't. Not sleeping with them actually makes you more respectful. Now, even if you had slept with the guy, that doesn't make you, that anyway. This is just what a lot of guys call women that derogatory word, because they're insecure and they're jealous that, you're a good looking woman and you can have your choice with men. Whereas these guys can't have their choice with women. Guys that have their choice with women and are attractive and take good care of themselves, they would feel no need to call any woman this at all. And these guys will come out and say, well, you're a woman that sleeps around, so you're a, HOE, right? That doesn't necessarily make that woman an HOE. It doesn't. And women will come back and say, well, hey, if men can do it, why can't we do it too? I agree, ladies. I agree. Now, for me, I wouldn't want to date a woman that sleeps around, but I also feel that women that want to be with a good guy should be with a guy that doesn't sleep around either. And that's how I've always been. I've never been the kind of guy that sleeps around. I've had my relationships. I've had many relationships, but those are the only women that I've slept with, right? And the woman that I'm with hasn't been with too many guys either. But, even if a woman wants to be with many guys, it doesn't make her any different than a guy that's been with many girls. Let's see here. Your buddy is why people ghost nowadays. Well, he's a type that's one of the reasons. Okay. Does he have delusional amounts of confidence? I'm so curious where it comes from. I confident? You mean to say I'm confident in most aspects of my life, but when it comes to dating, I only really make the first move if they're already showing overt interest, like them contacting me first and complimenting me, etc. That's a woman. Well, a guy has to show interest initially, enough interest to catch your attention, but not too much interest to make him come off, weak, needy, desperate, or insecure. And what happens is when a guy shows the right amount of interest, if you are attracted to the guy and you like him, you as the woman will show him some sign and will help him by rubbing his shoulders or sitting next to him, right? Or holding his hand. You will give him some type of sign that you want him to get closer to you. And then it's up to him if he continues, moving forward, in being with you. He has very high confidence compared to his looks, in my opinion. Well, I can respect a guy that's not considered extremely attractive by society standards having confidence. That's great. You should be happy with who you are, and beauty is also in the eye of the beholder, right? Beauty's in the eye of the beholder. Just because a group of women may not find this type of guy attractive doesn't mean there aren't other women that will find him attractive. But one of the least attractive things a man can do is lack self-confidence. So you have to praise this guy for his very high confidence. Big round of applause for that! Yeah. Oh, yeah. All right. Let me read a couple more here, then we're going to get to the next posting. We are at 23 minutes. Let's see. There are a lot of men like this. It is unfortunate for men who are not, as it doesn't take getting this reaction too many times to make women pretty weary of talking to anyone new. Okay. And then the original poster says, "Ooh, yeah, can't people just have normal human decency? The disrespect is pathetic." Well, I agree with that, ma'am. I totally agree with that. But if you expect people to be respectful to you, you have to be respectful to them. And based on your original posting, it sounds like you were projecting at men that were having luck with women because they're attractive. And then you mentioned that, let's go back up here because we're going to go to the next posting in a second. And then you said, what did you say here? You said, I'm awkward and overweight with poor self-esteem, but I don't blame others. Ma'am, you lied there. You're projecting. You're unhappy that, this dude and other dudes that you've seen get with other women, you're unhappy because they're not choosing you. And the reason why they're not choosing you is exactly what you said here. You said you're awkward and overweight with poor self-esteem. But I don't blame others, especially men, for not wanting me. Yeah, you are blaming them. You got to stop blaming them and blame yourself and ask yourself why you're not getting them. And then start fixing the reasons why you're not getting men. Start socializing more so you're not as awkward or awkward at all. Start eating better, exercising more, lose the weight, get in better shape, wear better clothing, and you'll attract more men, right? And then turn your attitude around from negative to positive and see what happens. Why are some men the opposite? Why are some men the opposite? Why do many externalize rather than internalize? You're not making any sense there, man. You're just projecting your unhappiness because no one wants you for the exact same reasons you mentioned. You know why they don't want you, so how about fix it, and then they'll want you. Make yourself appealing and attractive, and they'll want you. All right, enough of that one there. Let's go to the second Reddit posting here before we take our first break. We are at 26 minutes. Boop, boop, boop. This is from the subreddit Seduction, and the original poster's title is Why Making Them Wait Upsets Many Men. One more time. Why Making Them Wait Upsets Many Men. And right below, sorry, this post has been removed by the moderators of r/seduction. But as always, Coach Eli has a backup copy. Let's get to that right now. There it is. Let's read what the original poster wrote, and let's try to figure out why the moderators of r/seduction removed this. I didn't think it was bad at all. Many women are shocked by men who reject and get upset at them making a man wait for sex, and then think that they only wanted them for sex. Well, here's the thing. I keep saying this, and I'm going to continue saying this till everyone understands this. Okay? Whether you use dating apps, meet someone at a supermarket, meet someone the old school way, the new way, it doesn't matter how you meet. When a man and a woman meet for the very first time in person, they're going to know within 3 seconds whether there's a large rush or spark of sexual attraction. They're both going to know if they're ever going to be sexual or not. And if a man doesn't feel that with a woman within 3 seconds, and if a woman doesn't feel that with a man within 3 seconds, it'll never happen, no matter what. Okay? Attraction is a must and not a choice. Let me repeat that one more time. Attraction is a must and not a choice. So in my opinion, if a woman is making you wait for sex, it's for one of two reasons. Number one, it's because she either has a structured belief system and wants to wait for marriage and wants to do things in a structured way that defies the natural flow of progression. Or number two, she's just not attracted to you. Bottom line. So, because here's the thing. Every woman that I've gone on a first date with that was completely attracted to me wanted to jump my bones without me having to do nothing. No, I shit you not. When women are into you, they make it very, very apparent. The woman I'm with right now made it apparent. The previous two women I was with, every woman I've been with in a relationship, the first time we met, doesn't mean we slept together the first time. Sometimes it happened on the first date. Sometimes it happened the second or third date. But it could have happened on the first date every time. It was just me that wanted to wait in some cases. Okay? Wait because maybe the situation wasn't right. I didn't want to do it in my car or whatever, right? And other reasons, I want to show, if I know the woman's going to come back, I want to show her that, hey, I really like you for more than just the sexual attraction. I want you to stay around so we can go on dates, have fun, and have sex multiple times, right? you know? So that's what it is. Attraction is a must and not a choice. If a woman is making you wait, usually it's because she just isn't into you. She's not feeling it. She's not feeling the sexual attraction. That's not the case with most. In most cases, the reason men get upset at this is because it makes them think the woman values them less, especially if they know that you didn't make the other men wait. They didn't make the other men wait because they felt a large rush or spark of sexual attraction right away. They're just not feeling it for you. What part of that don't you guys understand? It makes them think you value them less than those guys and don't like them as much. Well, that's the truth. If a woman has slept with other guys on the first or second date, which typically happens the first, second, or third date, right? If the attraction is there. If she's done that with other guys and not doing that with you, what does that tell you? Duh. What does that tell you? She's just not feeling it for you. Chalk it up to a loss and move on and try again with someone else that may feel it for you. Most men want to be with a woman who is just as, if not more, interested in them as they are in you. This is the secret. Okay? This is the way relationships work the best, especially in the modern world. Okay? In order for a woman to stay interested in a man, in my opinion, it should be a fact. The woman has to perceive that she wants you more than you want her. The moment a woman feels that you want her more than she wants you, okay, things are going to start going the opposite way. Okay? Now, with my lady, it's like completely equal. We are so equal. We are so on the same page. Yeah, we have our moments. Yeah, we bicker every now and then, but who doesn't, right? But at the end of the day, we are each other's equal. Sandy McAfee's in the house. Hey, Sandy, how are you doing? Hello, coach and chat. I'll be listening more than commenting. Hey, welcome to the show. Great to see you here. No problem. Come and go as you wish. All right. Let me see here. Where was I at? Lost my train of thought there. So, like I was saying, it is always better when the woman perceives that she wants you more than you want her. And don't look at it as a game, guys. Okay? It basically, you want to go as close to the same pace as the woman is going, but you want to be slightly below her. So basically, let's say your woman's attraction level for you is like a 10 out of 10, okay? You want to display that your attraction level for her is a 9 or a 9.5. So you want to be as close to displaying the same amount of interest as she is displaying towards you, but as a man, just slightly less. Because that makes the woman feel like, oh, does he really like me? You know, yeah, he shows he likes me, but you got to make women wonder about you. That keeps them interested. That keeps them excited. It's not a game. It's just the way women work. Women want to feel like they are winning a prize with you as a man. Okay? Women want to chase you. Even though they say they don't want to chase you, they want to chase you, right? If the chase is no longer there, the excitement for the woman is over and she'll be gone most of the time. All right, so let's go back to the original page there where the posting was deleted. Removing the screenshot page here. And the comments are still below. I don't know why that was deleted. There was nothing wrong with it. 430 comments. Wow. We're not going to go through all of them. I usually just lose interest if I was on the fence about a girl, not chasing that poon. Poon. Okay, thanks, bye. That's a good job. Hey, dude, I'm going to give you a big round of applause for not chasing the poon. Good job. Never chase the poon. Just be cool, calm, and collective and let her come to you. All you got to do is ask her out on a date, hang out, have fun, and hook up. But never, never chase. Let her chase you. The moment you start chasing her, you're going to chase her right out of your life. I believe he says creepy storage 1786. What a horrible, horrible screen name there. One more reply. What did they say? Well, no response furthermore from there. Next comment. Kind of weird seeing it from this angle. I'm a dude and I don't bang on the first date or for a long while because I like to see where the relationship is going to go first. Well, I respect the fact that you say you don't bang on a first date. I wouldn't go as far and say that I don't bang on a first date. I think it should happen when it feels right. Sometimes it feels right on the first date. Sometimes it feels right on the second date. Sometimes it feels right by the third date. But I will say this, and another coach I've been following for a while, Coach Corey Wayne, says the same thing, and I agree. If sex doesn't typically happen by the third date, it's just not meant to be. Because here's the thing. If a woman's really into you, she's going to be so attracted to you, she's going to want you right away on the first date. That doesn't mean you have to do it. I've had every woman's wanted me on the first date that I've been in a relationship with. But most of the time, especially as I've gotten older, I wait at least to the second date, sometimes the third date, because I tell them I want to make this more special. How about, let's wait. You make out with them a little bit, a little touchy-touchy. That's all good, right? You give them something to think about, right? Right? But after that, tell them, hey, look, you know what? What are you doing this weekend? How about we go away to this area out of town, a couple hours away. We'll go hiking. We'll go to a nice dinner. And then we'll get a nice suite with a king-size bed and a beautiful view. And then we can make up for what we didn't do here tonight, right? And what you're conveying to the woman is that, hey, I want you just as much as you want me, but I also want you to know that I like you for more than that. I want to put in some effort and do this right. And it's never been a problem. So I respect this dude, but at the same time, don't always say I don't bang on the first date no matter what. You do it when it feels right for the both of you. Go with the natural flow of progression. And I agree. It seems like a lot of these guys that are upset about having to wait is because they're expecting every girl to either be extremely attracted to them off the bat or not attracted to them at all. Sometimes attraction has to be built up before we can do more, but it really just blows my mind how many people think attraction is finite. It is. That's what you folks don't understand. Here's the thing. Attraction is a must and not a choice. And a woman's going to know almost right away if she wants to ever be intimate with you or not. Now, does it mean it's going to happen on the first night? No, but if she's into you and you do the right things on the first night, trust me, you can convince almost any woman that's really into you by doing certain things called seduction and stuff that would just make them melt, right? For example, if you could tell the woman is, attracted to you, you're attracted to her, and let's say you've been making out a little bit in your car or something, right? And, she may end up saying, wow, I think we should stop. I don't want this to go too far tonight. You can come back at her and say, hey, no problem at all. I would love to see you again, and we could maybe go away for a weekend and do it right. I really like you. I'm really enjoying this. And then she'll look at you in the eyes and she'll say, wow, really? You would wait? Absolutely. Well, let's make out a little bit more before we go. How does that sound? Like, that sounds good, right? And you start making out. Next thing you know, she gets even more and more turned on. Now she's put her guard down a little more because you're respecting the fact that, hey, you're not going to push her to do it that night. And that's all women want. Women want to feel safe and comfortable with you. When they feel safe and comfortable with you, like they get so turned on, like they just want you right then and there, right? So yeah, I mean, it's up to you as a man, how you show up that first night. But yeah, it is finite. The woman's either going to be into you 100% or not. Any woman that says, well, it takes me time to get to know someone and feel comfortable, to be intimate with them, and that's all bullshit. It's all BS. It's all BS. It's either there or it isn't. There's no in between. Attraction is a must and not a choice. Damn, I must be the only one who doesn't care if they have sex on the first or fifth, whatever date. That's how I look at it too. Because here's the thing. I know my value as a man. I know who I am, right? And if they're not going to be intimate with me, or if it doesn't work out, with them, there are 5 or 10 other women waiting for the chance, right? Now, I've got my woman that I love and care for, and she's amazing. And, there's no need for me to be looking and vice versa for her. But here's the thing. The reason why we're both so cool, calm, and collective, and we love each other and we're relaxed, is because we're both two confident, good-looking people that are smart and down to earth. And we both know that if it doesn't work out between us, we can easily find somebody else. We don't want to find somebody else, but we have the confidence that we know we can, right? And when you have that confidence on both sides, it makes you love yourselves first, and then it just makes everything between you two flow, right? So, yeah, you got to have the attitude hey, if it happens, it happens. If it doesn't, it doesn't. But if you are cool, calm, and collective on that date, and you don't expect it, and you're just relaxed, that relaxes women, and then makes them want you, and then they may want you on that first or second date because you're so relaxed. That's all you have to do. That's the secret. Let's see. If they manage to keep me interested without sex, then they are pretty good at being interesting. Yeah, that's what's happened with many women, like my ex before that, and even the woman I'm currently with. She wanted me the first night, but she was so interesting with her personality and the conversation. It's like I liked her beyond the sex. I liked her beyond her cute, sexy looks. And so I said, look, let's plan a special night, get a nice, beautiful room, and do this right. I don't want to do this here in my car. You're worth a lot more than that, right? But that was because, she kept me interested outside of her body too. From my experience, women usually want to have sex ASAP, or if they delay it, it's because they have some insecurity, which is also fine. Well, it's not usually an insecurity. Okay, women usually want to have sex ASAP if they're attracted to the guy, and if they're not attracted to the guy, they never want to have sex with the guy. But I'm going to give you a big round of applause for that, brother. It makes sense. It makes sense. They want it just as much as men do. They just have to be attracted to you at the same level you're attracted to them. Guys, you're either attracted to women or you're not, right? Women are either attracted to you or they're not. It's the same thing both ways. Get that through your thick skulls, guys. That's all you got to do. Excuse me a second. If they need to use sex as a lure to keep me around, instead of just having an interesting personality, then I'll just move on. Well, I agree. Nowadays, there are some women that do that, like the millennial women and post-millennial women, right? Because a lot of these women are more career-focused than family-focused or relationship-focused, but they still have sexual needs. I just have never, and I came across many of those women, throughout the years, but I would vet, right? So you got to do a better job of properly vetting women if you want something more than just sex. Now, if one wants that and you both are okay with that, hey, who am I to say what you should or shouldn't do? It's not what I would do, but if that's what you choose to do, at least make sure both of you really want that and you understand that, right? That's all. Manipulation is one thing I don't tolerate. Of course, you don't want to be manipulated, but how is a woman trying to manipulate you that wants to have sex with you? Okay? Unless she's trying to get you to pay for it, which number one is illegal, number two would just make you look stupid, right? If she wants to have sex with you for free, like, and she's beautiful and she's hot, like, what's she doing wrong? Now, if you don't respect her or think that's just too much, that's on you. But how is she trying to manipulate you in that way? Right? Sexuality is a vibe. The more you talk about it instead of just doing it because you want to, the dumber you are. Well, here's the thing. You know, one of the biggest turn-ons to me is having a mentally stimulating and emotionally stimulating conversation. If I can't bond with a woman at a mental and emotional level, I don't care how sexy she is or how much she wants me, it won't turn me on. If she's a beautiful woman physically and has a great heart and soul and is mentally stimulating, she can carry on a great conversation and she's in touch with her emotions, then you've got me. Then I'm like silly fucking putty. Seriously. We are at 46 minutes. Sandy McAfee says, do you think it is wrong to ask about the whole STD question on the first date prior to going there? That's a great question, Sandy, and I'm going to answer that. I always talk about it. Always. Always. I always mention that I'm STD free. I talk about, how many partners I've had. It hasn't been that many. And I asked the woman. And you can kind of get a good feel. I mean, you could also get tested. Some people are adamant about being tested. Some take the chance. I'm sure we've all taken chances, and I have too, but I've taken good chances with women I feel I could trust. And I've always been relationship-minded and only dealt with women that are relationship-minded. Now, here's the thing. You never know, right? And here's the thing, even if you get tested and you both show clean, sometimes things don't show up for years. So you gotta have the conversation and you just gotta take your best chance, in my opinion. But yes, it is something that I always talk about. If I'm meeting a woman for the first time from a dating app or dating site, and like I met my ex, okay, when I was meeting them, before I met my ex, and when I met my ex, I would talk about these things beforehand. I would talk about, STDs and all that type of stuff, because here's the thing. If a woman is really into you, she's going to be into you even before she meets up with you in person. And if she really truly wants to get to know you, she's not going to be offended with you sharing that information and putting that out there just in case something happens, right? Exactly. I want to see results first. Yeah, and Sandy, that's okay. That's okay. I've been that way in the past with some, and others I just felt like I could trust them. It's up to you. You got to take your best chances. It's a very, very difficult question. But here's the thing. When we're talking about HIV and AIDS and all that, we have advanced with medicine since the 80s and 90s when we had the big epidemic. And so I don't think the threat of sexually transmitted diseases is as much as it used to be. It's still there. Don't get me wrong. It's still there. There's still, syphilis, gonorrhea, there's herpes, and, that just never goes away. But the big one, AIDS, was the one that used to kill you. And now with modern medicine, it can be managed. So, yeah, great question. Maybe we'll do a whole entire show topic about that sometime down the road. That's a great question, and thank you very much for answering it. All right, so let us go back to full screen and cue up some royalty-free YouTube music. Step away for an 8 or 9 minute break, and then we're going to come back to the last two postings. Boo-doop, boop, boo-doop, boo-doop, boo. Let's see here. Do-do-do-do-do-do-do-do. All right. Music is all queued up, folks. I'm going to step away for an 8 or 9 minute break. When we return, we have 2 more amazing Reddit postings to discuss. When we come back, we're going to head on over to the Purple Pill Debate subreddit again. And this time, the original poster's topic is going to be, so you want women to lower their standards, but at the same time, not settle for you? How is that possible? One more time. So you want women to lower their standards, but at the same time, not settle for you? How is that possible? And after that, we're going to head on over to the subreddit r/dating over 30 to wrap up the show. And the original poster poses the question, I've been single for 2 years. Could that be viewed as a red flag? One more time. I've been single for 2 years. Could that be viewed as a red flag? We will get to those 2 postings and dissect them right after the break. So stick around. Stick around. Stick around. Round. We'll be right. Do. I think we're back now. Um, how long did you folks hear any of my audio when I came back from the break? I don't know. I think I had something overloaded. My my microphone. Interesting. I don't know how much of that you folks heard or not. Maybe my settings are too high. My microphone cut out, and I had to reset it here. So I'm just going to mention a few things that I mentioned when I came back from the break. I welcome Sifu Smo. Hey, Sifu Smo, did you hear anything I said when I came back from the break? I'm just curious to know. But let me just say, let's see here. Hey, Eli, I don't hear you, my friend. You've been talking and I don't hear you, just letting you know. Yeah. I just realized that I should be back now. So I was sitting there going crazy and my microphone overloaded. I think I had the settings set a little bit too high. I'm going to lower it a little bit because I think the setting was set a bit too high. So, all right. So I was welcoming, Sifu Smo Dion. I was also welcoming Alex, the Beer Master, and Sandy McAfee. And some other people. I was also talking about that. Welcome back to Coach Eli 2 Uncensored Live Streams, the future home of most, if not all, of my live streaming content. This channel is getting very close to being monetized. We are about 3/4 of the way there, so help out with some watch time love. And once it gets monetized, I will be moving my Walking with Purpose pre-recorded videos. My Walking with Purpose live streams over to this channel here. And then on my main channel, I'll be focusing more on some high-quality pre-recorded content in the highest quality at 4K 60 frames per second, just like I've been doing this week with some Walking with Purpose pre-recorded videos in 4K 60. I released a few of them already this week on Monday and today. So yesterday, Monday, and today, Tuesday. 3 more are coming later on this week, tomorrow, Wednesday, Thursday, and Friday at 2 p.m. Eastern, 11 a.m. Pacific. Some more pre-recorded Walking with Purpose videos in 4K 60 will be released. Also on my main channel, once all the live streams move over to this channel here, Coach Eli 2, once it gets monetized, we will be focusing more on some YouTube shorts and also some pre-recorded, some members-only pre-recorded content that my lady and I are going to be creating, and it's going to be some good stuff. So anyway, I didn't hear anything. You had your sound off. No, what happened is my sound overloaded because I think that I have, a Shure SM7B microphone that's connected to a preamp called a Cloud Lifter. That goes into my Focusrite audio interface. And the audio interface must have overloaded because I think I've had the gain set too high. So I've lowered down the gain a little bit, and it should be sounding a little bit better now. And I'm hoping that I don't have those issues in the future. This has happened one more time in the past, that it's overloaded. So hopefully it's been fixed now. So I pretty much mentioned what I wanted to mention. One more thing that I was talking about while you folks couldn't hear me is that because this channel has not been monetized yet, if you would like to donate to support this channel here before it gets monetized, you can do it in one of two ways. You can send a PayPal or Cash App donation in the amount. Nightbot's sharing the PayPal and Cash App links every 7 minutes. You can go to paypal.me/Coach Eli, or on Cash App, you can go to $The Real Coach Eli. And as always, donations are not required, but they are greatly appreciated. Okay, so all right, let's get right back to it here. Let's go back over to the browser screen. Oh, what is going on there? Oh, where are we? There we are. We've had a couple of technical difficulties, but there we are. We're back to normal now. All right. This next posting is from the Purple Pill Debate subreddit, and the original poster's title is, "So you want women to lower their standards, but at the same time not settle for you. How is that possible?" One more time. "So you want women to lower their standards, but at the same time not settle for you. How is that possible?" All right, let's read what the original poster wrote. And just so I make sure everything is coming through clearly again right now to those of you that are, watching in the chat there. Let's see. Angel Asylum says, "Hey, Dion, how are you?" Alex the Beer Master says, "There you go. I hear you now, my friend." Thank you, Alex the Beer Master. Great to see you here, bro. It's been a while. Hopefully everything is going well for you. Sifu Smo says, "Rustic, come on panel one of these days." Yeah, it'd be nice to catch up with her. Yeah, she used to be on American Dreams panels, Mike's panels, but I'm not sure if she still associates with Mike or not. But hey, it is what it is. Sifu Smo says, "There is a lot of gender entitlement in today's society." Yes, there is. And if you missed the first part of the show, go back and check it out. I had a full-blown Reddit posting I went over regarding what a woman wrote, and it was just was very, very, very interesting, to say the least. Go back and check it out. So, let's read what the original poster wrote. "A woman who lowers her standards has to consciously override her own biological attraction and literally decide, right, I'm going to just have to suck it up and try and be satisfied with a shorter, uglier, fatter, less exciting, less interesting man." No, women don't have to lower their standards. They shouldn't lower their standards. Men don't lower their standards. So guys, if you guys aren't lowering your standards for women, why do you expect women to lower their standards for you? That's very hypocritical and unmanly. Just become the best version of yourselves you can be, and that'll be all good, right? That'll be all good. Seriously. Anybody who lowers their standards, man or woman, is doing this. There is no other way. So, by definition, a woman lowering her standards is settling, which is what a lot of men are asking. That's because these men feel they aren't good enough. So they ask the woman to lower their standards so they can feel like they're good enough. What kind of a man is going to look at themselves in that way? That's pathetic, right? A man that loves himself, takes care of himself, exercises, eats right, stays healthy and fit, wears some nice clothing, has a great attitude, great personality, is not going to feel the need to ask any woman to lower her standards. Especially when men have standards too. We all have standards. So come on, guys. It's a big insecurity if you ask a woman to lower her standards for you. Come on. Wow. A woman cannot literally alter what she finds attractive. Neither can a man. So why are you guys asking women to do this when neither a man or a woman, is going to alter what they find attractive? They can't do it even if they want to. They're either attracted to you or they're not. Like I said before we went on break, I said it many times. Attraction is a must and not a choice. You can't change your brain and biology like that. Otherwise, gay people would just decide to be attracted to the opposite sex. And we know that's not how it works. Right. That's a great way to put it. I could not have said it better myself. Big round of applause. Yeah. Big round of applause on that. Wow. So you pretty much just got to accept that either a woman doesn't find you attractive, or if she lowers her standards, which a lot of you suggest they do, understand they are settling. You can't have both. I don't even think they're settling, well, maybe they kind of are. Sometimes, when women get into their early 30s, and their biological clock starts ticking, if they can't find a man they're attracted to that wants to settle with them and have a family, then a lot of times what they'll do is they'll settle for the beta male provider, right? So I can understand that, from that aspect, but it's just kind of sad because I don't think anyone should have to settle for someone just so they can have a family that they're not attracted to physically. And, so what's going to happen? You're going to have kids with this guy, right? He's going to be the provider, and then you're going to be cheating on him. And then 2 to 3 to 4 or 5 years into it, you're going to have kids that are 4, 5, 6 years old. And you're going to be going through divorce, and it's just going to mess things up, right? And that's the problem nowadays that women encounter, because throughout their 20s, they're more career focused than family focused. They're focused on going to college and getting a college degree, and they don't want to settle, and they want to party and have fun in college. But then they hit their 30s and they want to settle down, and then the men their age don't want to settle with them because those men are going for younger women, right? Right? Because men that want to have a family with women, okay, typically men, when they hit their 30s, that's when they're ready to have a family. And they typically will choose a woman that's 1 to 5 years younger or something like that, right? So a man that's 30 is going to choose a woman 25 to 29 or so. Dion, you're the perfect example. You're 30, your woman's 25, right? Okay. Right? You would prefer to date a woman that's 25 than 30 or 32 or 33, right? Because she's younger, she's hotter, she's more fertile, and yours is more fertile. No disrespect, brother. I know it was unexpected, but you get what I'm saying, right? Okay. Alex the Beer Master says, "You're welcome, Eli." Absolutely, absolutely. Okay. All right, let's continue here. You can't have both. You pretty much have to just accept that either a woman doesn't find you attractive, or if she lowers her standards, which a lot of you suggest they do, understand they are settling. You can't have both. Yeah, I mean, honestly, I don't think anyone should ever settle. I think you need to keep putting yourself out there until, the man and the woman find someone that they're both mutually, physically, mentally, emotionally, and spiritually attracted to. Because if not, even if it kind of works out in the beginning, especially for women that are settling just to be able to have a family before their clock expires, their biological clock expires, it's going to cost them in the long run. And I've seen this happen time and time and time again. All right, let's go to the comments section and read what some of the people wrote in response. It is same with guys here wanting women to sleep with them casually, but also hate women that slept with multiple guys. Right, it's a big contradiction right there. It's a huge contradiction right there. In the modern world, you can't get mad at women that have had multiple partners when you guys have had multiple partners. Why is it okay for you guys to do it and not okay for women to do it, right? And for you guys out there that are sleeping with multiple women and probably manipulating them to sleep with them, right, once or twice, right? Okay. You're the guys that are tacking on the numbers to those women that probably wanted to settle down with, the first guy that they met that manipulated them just for sex, right? It's very contradicting. Men nowadays are very, very hypocritical and contradicting. And I think it has a lot to do with women being liberated and women rising up. That's the bottom line. Most men I see talk about that criteria, only care about consistency. An example, don't fuck random bums that act like you're pure and make the next guy wait. Right. See, that's what happens a lot of times nowadays. Okay, so these women, they go out there and they get manipulated by these bummy, one-night stand type of guys that pretend to, be who the woman wants them to be. So the woman believes the guy that he's going to be there. The guy sleeps with her once or twice, kicks her to the curb. That happens with the next few guys. She goes through a string of guys like that. Then the good guy comes around, and then she basically dangles sex on a carrot and makes the guy wait. That's just not cool. I've encountered women like that in the past, and I didn't give them the time of day because it's not cool to hold against me what other guys have done to you. It's not. It's not. And if a woman hasn't processed the past, processed through the past of what's happened to her in past relationships, then she's not ready to be with another guy, so she shouldn't put herself out there, in my opinion, until she's ready. Same thing for men on the flip side. Is that what men do, though? They'll have casual sex with exciting but bitchy, slutty, and unstable women, but will then take it slow with a woman they're actually interested in settling down with. Well, that can happen. That can happen. I mean, if you don't see a future with a woman, but she's attractive enough to have sex with, most guys will sleep with her and will try to have sex with her as soon as possible because they see no future there. But if you see a future with a woman and she sees a future with you, just like with me, most women I've been with wanted to sleep with me on the first date, even though they were relationship minded. And because I knew I wanted more and they knew they wanted more than just sex, I waited a date or two, right? So I understand what you're saying here. I get it. Makes perfect sense. Do you really think the average guy is regularly having casual sex with random women? Well, yeah, a lot of guys do that in their teens, late teens, and throughout their 20s and sometimes in their early to mid 30s until they get it out of their system and then find the right woman to settle down with. Yeah, I think it happens more often than you think. If you're asking that question, it's because you're probably a guy that lacks self-confidence and you don't know how to get women. That's the thing. You don't know how to talk with people, right? You lack the social skills. Maybe you are out of shape and you lack self-confidence. So, you don't have the skills and the looks and, the confidence to get a woman. But yeah, most guys are regularly having casual sex with random women. But at the same time, they're getting to know these women. And sometimes you could be having random casual sex with a woman and then you both fall for each other. Anything can happen, right? It varies from person to person, true, but the majority of men will take most sexual opportunities as long as the woman is attractive, regardless of what the woman is looking for. Yeah, guys who are getting laid regularly without extreme hustling aren't average or the norm. Well, you could be an average-looking guy and know how to talk with women and dress nice and smell nice, right? Okay, and be charming and get laid regularly, right? But yeah, you have to be at least average looking and take care of yourself. You can't be a slobby, unattractive guy and be able to, easily attract women for sex. You have to be attractive enough to be able to turn them on physically, but at the same time, you have to also know how to talk with them and engage their emotions and seduce them, right? Most guys have shitty seduction skills, and that's why they can't get women or they can't get laid. If by that you mean the top 20%, yeah, sure. Well, you guys seem to think it's just the top 20% of men that are getting laid. I beg to differ on that, okay? Any man can get laid as long as they have confidence and they know how to carry themselves, they know how to talk with women, they know how to dress right. And even men that are a little bit overweight but know how to dress well and carry themselves can still get laid. You'd be surprised. You would be surprised. Let's see. Sifu Smo, exactly, Eli. It is hypocritical on our part. Yeah, no, it is, bro. It really is. Ask your woman this, dude. Ask your woman. Is it any different for a man to sleep around than for a woman to sleep around, right? This is 2022. Now, if we're talking about 1950s and before that time, before women were liberated, different story. Women were dependent on a man for survival. So the purer a woman was back then, preferably a virgin, the better chance she had of finding a man that was going to provide for her, take care of her, and have a family with her, right? But nowadays, women are making their own money. They have the same rights They have the same rights as men do. And they're making good money. And in many cases, they're making better money than men. So it's no different. It's absolutely No, not different. There's no difference there, in my opinion. All right. Let me see. That's what the internet makes me believe. It is correct, maybe not, but the fact people are so defensive about this topic makes me think otherwise. Well, the people that are defensive are insecure, plain and simple. It's because they've had no luck with the opposite sex because they don't take care of themselves. They lack social skills, right? They lack self-confidence, etc. Someone that has self-confidence and believes in themselves and loves themselves is not going to sit here and waste their time projecting their insecurities all over the internet, let alone, even in real life. People that are confident don't waste time projecting. They ignore people that attack them, and they just focus on their greatness, right? In what way does the internet make you believe men are having casual sex with women when the most vocal men, right or wrong, are all saying it is a struggle to even find dates? Let me tell you something. I never struggled finding dates. I'm an average-looking guy. I consider myself a 7 or a 7.5 out of 10. I don't consider myself an 8, 9, or a 10. And I feel for my age at 48, I look decent. I take care of myself. I don't have the greatest head of hair. I never did, so I shaved my head bald. And most women are okay with that. My woman I'm with now loves it. I have a nicely trimmed beard, to make up for the lack of hair on my head. I'm 48, so I have some grade I use just for men, and it makes me look a bit younger. I use some great soap to lather my body, made by Irish Spring. It has shea butter, which hydrates my skin, softens my skin. I've got skin as good as I did in my early 20s or my late teens because I take care of myself. I work out, I stay healthy and fit, right? And I look as good as possible, right? And I've never struggled to find dates. But I also know how to talk to people, including women. I also understand women's emotions, okay? I also understand a woman's wants and needs. And most guys don't. Half the battle is understanding a woman's wants and needs. The other half is taking care of yourself and having self-confidence and not being afraid to approach women or talk to women and not being afraid of rejection, right? Just be a man, bottom line. Bottom line. Women want to be with a man, not a little boy. The guys that are struggling with getting women are acting like little boys. And women don't want little boys, they want men. Bottom line. Article I read from websites like Bustle or Cosmopolitan, and people defending the right to have casual sex like they would die in a hill for it. Okay, I don't know. That was all over the place there. I'm not going to even respond to that. You probably shouldn't base your view of men's dating lives on Cosmo. Okay. Who do you think writes that stuff? Women, of course. Of course. Come on. Sipu Smo says, women lie about how many partners they have slept with anyway. Of course they do, because if they told you the truth, you wouldn't want to be with them. Can you blame them, Dion? Listen, if there's one thing I'm okay with a woman lying is the amount of partners she's been with, because every man and woman nowadays, for the most part, has been with a decent amount of people, at least 10 or 15 people. Okay? So, that it is what it is. But yes, you're right about that. Great point there, brother. Great point. All right, give me a second here. All right. I don't know who writes those articles, but they are hell-bent, painting hookup culture and casual sex as norm. Well, typically women write the Cosmopolitan articles, but even if men write them, it's the truth. Like this world has become a casual world. Dating-wise, business-wise, we dress casually at work now, at least business casual, or we wear jeans and a nice shirt, right? A nice sporty shirt, okay? When you first start seeing someone, okay, it's always casual in the beginning. And if you continue seeing each other casually, after a month or two, the woman will typically ask you, how do you feel about me? Where do you see this going? We've been hanging out for 2 months now, right? And at that point, you both decide if it's going to be a commitment or not. But until there's a commitment there, typically 2 or 3 months into the relationship, then it's a casual relationship. That's just the way it is. Nothing wrong with that. It's just the way it is. You got to get to know the person before you commit, right? If those guys are even real, they're extreme outliers. Okay. I'm nothing to add to that. They might be, but the media is making it feel like they are common. I often see girls complain men only want to sleep around, so it must come from somewhere. Even false interpretations come from aspect of reality. Men will eventually settle for a woman that knocks his socks off. Not just sexually, but mentally, emotionally, and spiritually. Okay? And that's why until we find that woman, we may be dating someone, having sex with them, but not committing to them. It doesn't mean we're sleeping around with other women or dating other women. In some cases, some guys do. I never did, right? But until we are certain that, this woman does it for us, not just sexually, but mentally and emotionally, and understands our lifestyle and is going to be, how do I say this the right way? Is going to bring more value to our life rather than, diminish our value or make our lives miserable. Until we know there's more value, then there's, no man's going to want to commit. But men will commit to the right woman. It's just rare that we come across it. Let's see. Of course, women complain that the few really hot guys, they all won't settle down. Why? Because all you ladies are attracted to them and you give them sex easily because they're hot. So who's creating that issue there? Women are complaining that the few hot guys, the top 20% of the guys, like you mentioned earlier on this posting, right? All the women want them and they have sex with them, but these guys won't settle down. Why? Because they know they're hot and they can have multiple hot women. So if you ladies want these guys to make a choice, why are you making it easy for them to not choose by just giving it up so easily to them because they're hot? See, I love women, but because women are so emotional, they're emotional beings responding to everything emotionally first based on how they're feeling in the present moment, they contradict themselves all the damn time, right? Right? They want the hottest guy in the world, and they want that guy to settle with them and have a family with them. And they don't realize nowadays the guys that are hot and know they're hot can get any woman they want. So they're going to have fun for a while, right? That's the truth of the matter. And that's because women are just giving it up very easily nowadays. I'm not complaining that they are. I'm just saying that's why these guys are not settling. Bottom line. Let me see. What happened there? All right. We are at 1 hour and 34 minutes. I love you, babe. Hey, babe, how are you doing? Are you still out? Are you just tuning in for a second? Yeah, I had a little bit of an issue. My audio cut out as I was coming back from the break. So I noticed that after the song ended, and I ended up fixing it. So if you go back and watch the replay, coming back in from the break, all you're going to do is hear music. Anyway, thank you for being here, babe. Sifu Smo says, "Hey D," a formerly known stage name of my ladies. All right. I think that's enough of this posting here. Let's go to the final posting here before we start to wrap things up. This is from the subreddit R Dating Over 30, and the original poster's title is, "I've been single for 2 years. Could that be viewed as a red flag?" One more time. I've been single for 2 years. Could that be viewed as a red flag? Let's read what the original poster wrote. It's a female. Interesting. I, 35 female, have been officially single since July 2020. It's quite a long time, ma'am. Have you been banging guys since that point casually? That's a long time. That's 2 years. Most of the men I'm going on dates with have been single for less than a year. Now that I'm heading into my second consecutive year of being single, I'm beginning to feel self-conscious about it, especially since I'm not meeting any men who've been single for nearly as long. Ma'am, these guys, if it doesn't work out with a woman, they get over it and then they move on. When you're 35 years old, if you even want to have kids, ma'am, your biological clock is ticking. So why are you wasting 2 years of your time? And then, why are you waiting to see if there are men that have been single for 2 years? So that way, they can match your 2 years of being single. So that way you feel comfortable to date them. This is ridiculous. Wow, this is one of the most ridiculous things I've seen. This woman has killed 2 years of her life because she can't find a guy that's been single for 2 years as well. Could the length of time I've been single be seen as a red flag? I wouldn't necessarily say it's a red flag. It's your choice. Maybe you haven't found someone worthy of dating, or maybe you're just hooking up with some guys that didn't turn into anything. But if you're sitting around and staying single because you can't find any other guys that have been single as long as you before you go on a date, then that's stupid, ma'am. You're wasting your time. And your eggs are running out, no disrespect. They are. Your biological clock is ticking, ma'am, right in front of you, and you're not even realizing it. I worry that men will hear how long it's been since my last relationship and think, is there a reason no one wants to date her, and then take that as a reason to move on? Well, ma'am, if you've been single that long, this is what I would think if I was single and I was talking with you. I'd be like, okay, this woman is extremely cautious, and this woman does not take a lot of chances. This woman is a structured woman that makes a man wait like a certain amount of days before having sex. This woman doesn't just go with the flow. I'd be thinking that, ma'am, you're just too structured and not easygoing, and that's why I wouldn't give you the time of day. It's not the fact that you've been single for 2 years. It's the fact that, you're probably structured. And that's why you've been probably single for 2 years, because in the past, you probably gave in to guys easily. You had some hookups that didn't go anywhere, and now you're jaded and want to make sure that no one's going to just use you for sex before you go on a date again. You're putting up your guard way too high, ma'am. That's what I think is happening. Give me 1 second here. My allergies are kicking my butt. Respectfully, maturely, professionally says, hey, Dion. My lady says hello. Anyway. Dion, I know you put out a video a few hours ago, and I have absolutely no comment, brother. Anyway, it's up to you what you choose to put out there, brother. I think you know what I'm saying, dude. It's all good. It's all good, man. Let's see. Is there a reason no one wants to date her and then take that as a reason to move on? In the last 2 years, I haven't met anyone I've wanted to date exclusively. So are you banging guys in the meantime? Because if you are, there's a possibility those could lead to something. Have you just not dated somebody? Or have you just not been even hooking up or anything? So it's not like there's been any major rejection, but I do wonder why I haven't had literally any viable relationship options in nearly 2 entire years of dating. Because it's the way you're coming off, ma'am. I can tell by the way you're writing this, ma'am. You're too damn structured, right? I mean, if you were happy within yourself and just put yourself out there and just, were laid back and allowed guys to get to know you, you wouldn't be on Reddit making a posting saying, I've been single for 2 years. Could that be viewed as a red flag? And the fact that you're writing this post could be viewed as a red flag. My God, a 35-year-old grown-ass woman. Wow. When my mother was 35 years old, I will tell you this. Jesus Christ. When my mother was 25 years old, she had 2 kids and was married and was mature and grown and a great mother. And she's still a great mother to this day. God bless her. You got 35-year-old women, single, never married, no kids, complaining that I've been single for 2 years. Could that be viewed as a red flag? And, over the last couple of years, I haven't had any viable options of guys. So, ma'am, are you kidding me? There are guys that would go on a date with you by you just, breathing air. This is ridiculous. Ridiculous. I'm at darts. 2, no audio from me right now. What do you mean? Oh, so no, my audio is going through. You just have audio turned off, is what you're saying, right? Dion, you folks can hear my audio, right? Well, I got to check this again because I can't have that happening again. Listen, yeah, 35-year-old woman, single, never. Okay, it's working. She just has her audio turned off and just looking at the chat while she's out shooting darts. All right. Let's see. It has me analyzing any and every possible flaw or shortcoming that could be making me undesirable. Is the length of time I've been single one of them? No, ma'am. It's not the length of time, but there's a reason why you've been single that long, because you've had your guard up way too high. You've set your expectations much higher because you become a little bit jaded based on the past. You've given some other guys a chance, and they either used you for sex or didn't hang around long enough. So now you've basically made it more difficult, and you're putting guys through many more hoops, just to qualify for a date with you. This is all you, ma'am. There's no reason why you should be single for 2 years if you don't want to be. Now, if you want to take a break from dating, and focus on other things, different story. But it kind of sounds like to me, you're unhappy that you've been single for 2 years. You would prefer to not be single. You would have preferred not be single for the last 2 years, which is what I'm trying to say. And you're trying to figure out, what am I doing wrong? Well, ma'am, the fact that you're coming out here and just talking about this, is telling me that, you're really cautious. You're overly cautious. You got your guard up way too high. Just go with the flow. Be yourself. Get on a dating app and say, hey, I've been single for a couple years. I'm looking to turn that around. I'm not looking to play any games. I'm looking to waste time. I want to meet a good guy and just shoot for the stars, right? And then you find a guy you're attracted to, and he seems to be a good guy. Go on a date and just go with the flow. Let things happen if they're meant to happen. Don't hold back. You're holding yourself back. You're complaining that things aren't happening, but at the same time, you're holding yourself back or holding guys back from allowing things to happen, man. It's very contradicting. All right, let's read a few more comments here before we go off the air. Please get your questions, comments, and concerns in the chat. Sifu Smo says, yeah, I can hear. Get your questions, comments, and concerns in the chat. And I just want to check and see how the audio sounds real quick. Give me 1 second, folks. I'm going to mute for a second. All right, audio sounds good. I turned down my gain on my audio interface a little bit, so hopefully it's not going to overload again. It's done this one other time in the past, besides it happening when I came back from the break earlier, where there was no audio for a few minutes. But anyway, let's read some comments here. We're at 1 hour and 45 minutes. Anything can be a red flag with the right attitude. Okay. What was the point of that comment? Why would anything with the right attitude be a red flag? Because you don't expect it? Because you think guys are playing games? I think this is a woman writing this. There's a pink, avatar there. I feel this is the mantra of this subreddit. Mantras are definitely a red flag. Dealing in absolutes is a red flag. If we only had been there to warn Padney. Sounds like we have a bunch of jaded people in this dating over 30 subreddit. This is what happens when women hit 30 and they haven't found that person to settle down with and have kids. They get real jaded because guys in their 30s are going for girls and, gals in their 20s. Because when these women were in their 20s, they were busy either riding the carousel or, focused on their studies and not dating or, seeking a life partner. This is what happens. Can you imagine Padney posting here, "Hi, 31F, met my husband 26M. That's much younger. When he was 10 years old, he's always been headstrong, but he's handsome and powerful and successful and loving. But recently he killed his coworkers because he was denied a promotion. And when I went with his best friend to see him, he became verbally and physically abusive. Should I leave him? Despite everything I know, there is still good in him." I'm not even going to respond to that. That's the most ridiculous fake posting I've ever seen. I think you all know the answer to that. Oh, yeah, this guy does some very bad things, harming other people, breaking the law, killing people. And because I still see some good in him, should I give him the chance? Well, if he did that, he would be in jail. And he'd probably be in jail at least for the rest of his life or even get the death penalty in some states. So that was just stupid in my opinion. I laughed way too hard at this. Yeah, I thought it was stupid. Let's see. What else do we have here? Calling everything a red flag's a red flag. There we go. This is the username Peanut Butter Jelly Time. Says, calling everything a red flag is a red flag. I agree. That's a big round of applause. Yeah. Absolutely. 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 I mean, there are people that see every little thing as a red flag. Some very jaded women see everything as a red flag. And that's a red flag within itself. I could not have said it any better myself. Let's continue. And red flags are indeed red unless you're colorblind. That's probably a red flag too. No, that's just too funny. I upgraded you to the red card. Haha, you are a walking red flag. So am I. They're just having fun with this now. If there was a post response that needed to be stickied, this is it. Okay. Let's read a few more of these and just go off the air because everyone's just having fun. They're making fun of this woman for being ridiculous, just like I was saying in different words while I was dissecting her posting. I was going to say something similar. Everything is a red flag when you're only looking for red flags. Right. That's called being jaded. Kind of like the old saying to the hammer, the world looks like a nail. Good point. It is true. The human mind can see things in many different ways. You can overanalyze anything and see things in many ways depending on your experiences and thought process or what you want to see. That's just how things are and always have been. We're just exposed to more opinions with all the different types of connections in the modern day. True. Very true. I got nothing more to add to that. I mean, you said it perfectly, right? There are so many different options, so many different types of people, right? You meet people in different ways, on your computer, dating apps on your smartphones or tablets. You can meet people in person, at the supermarket, at church. There are so many options nowadays. Could not have said this any better myself. Good job. that attitude is definitely a red flag. Bullet dodged. If that's the attitude, then being a nice person can also be a red flag. Being a nice person doesn't have to be a red flag. But I say to people, at least to guys, be good guys. Don't be overly nice guys because, the nice guy stigma, nice guys finish last. But be good people. It's not a red flag to be a good person. The reason why some women, it's more so women than men that see this as a red flag, but the reason why some women see a guy being a nice guy as a red flag or a good guy being a red flag, it's because there are a lot of guys that have pretended to be nice guys and good guys just to get sex from these women, and then they leave them or they ghost them, right? And honestly, as a woman, I mean, you can't hold that against every guy, but a lot of women do. They get taken by a few pretend nice guys that pretend to be nice to get laid. Then these guys ghost these women, and then these women now become really jaded and guarded and make it impossible for every guy in the future, to have a chance with them. They make it much more difficult. So then these guys just say, screw it. I can start something in a much easier way with other women. So I'm just going to avoid the jaded women, right? He told me to seize his means of production. Is this a red flag? Come on. This is the positively negative energy I come to Reddit for. Okay. I'm going to read a couple more here, then I'm going to be going off the air. Maybe three more. Three more here, and then we're going off the air. So please get your questions, comments, concerns in the chat. We'll be going off the air in just about 5 minutes or less. We are at 1 hour and 52 minutes. I personally find it attractive when people have been single for a chunk of time. I like to take it as possibly signaling that if they choose to date me, it is intentional and it is about our connection versus their need to jump from relationship to relationship. Well, there's nothing wrong with taking some time for yourself after a breakup. And depending on the length of the breakup should determine the amount of time, right? If you've been seeing someone for a couple years or so, you should take about 2 or 3 months off for self-reflection before putting yourself back out there. But you don't need to take 2 years off, okay? Now, some people have been in 5, 10, or 15-year marriages or relationships. So what's the right amount of time for someone like that? Someone like that might need 3 to 6 months or a year. But honestly, I would never, ever take more than 6 months to a year off. Okay, if you can't work through something within, 3 to 6 months or 6 months to a year at the most, then you got some serious issues and you may need to see a therapist, right? You don't want to sit there and waste 2, 3, 4, 5 years of your life, especially if you're a woman and want to have kids. And this woman that wrote this posting is 35. At 33, she started being single for 2 years. She just wasted 2 prime fertile years, right? Because now she's 35. Now her fertility drops again. And at 40, it's going to drop even more. Do you see what this costs women, right? So take a little bit of time off for some reflection after a breakup, but don't take 2 years off if you really want to be with someone and have a family possibly, right? Hard agree. I date men when I've heard they've been single and or haven't been hooking up, dating in a while. It's a huge turn on. Shows me they are intentional and picky, which everyone should be. Of course, this can be taken to an extreme. However, I find it great. Yeah, I mean, look, there are good guys and guys that play games. There are good women and women that play games. And then there are some people that are in between, right? They're trying to find their way. It doesn't necessarily mean that they're bad, right? They're trying to find their way. But, all you folks have to do, whether you're a man or a woman, all you have to do is properly vet people that you're getting to know, okay? Don't just get on the app and say, okay, let's meet right now and see what happens, okay? Send a few messages through the app, exchange numbers, talk by phone, have an hour or 2 long phone conversation, and see how that flows. If a man and a woman is willing to stay on the phone call for an hour or two, that's saying that, okay, I'm willing to give up an hour or two of my time. That's very valuable, especially in this modern world. It's very valuable to get to know someone. That would more so lead me to believe that they're worthy of meeting and that they're possibly going to be someone that, could work out long term with. You understand what I'm saying? And that's one of the tests that I've always given women. Like before I met the woman I'm with now, 9 months ago, we talked on the phone for a couple hours, 2-3 hours the night before we met. And then we met right away and we hit it off, right? The test was, hey, is she going to hang with me on a phone conversation? And is she going to contribute to the conversation? Is it going to flow? Is it going to be a quick call, or is it going to be a relaxing call with no time limit? And we're going to end it when it feels right. And we ended it after 3 hours when it felt right. We met the next day, and here we are 9 months later, right? You just have to learn to properly vet people. All right, we are at 1 hour and 57 minutes. Let's read one more here before we wrap this baby up. I've been dating for 33 years. Is that a turn on? I'm 33 years old, by the way. I'm just going to laugh at that because I'm not buying it. Big round of applause for a silly joke in the middle of the posting. Yeah. All right. Yeah. Do. Oh, boy. Let's see here. Should we read one more? One more. That makes me feel better about being single the last 3 years. I just haven't felt like I want to force anything or date to not be alone, and I need to meet the right person organically because I think I'm done with online dating. Well, okay. So I don't know how old this person is. Maybe they're in their 30s because it's the subreddit is dating over 30. I'm assuming they're in their 30s and they've, had some experiences where they were probably used for sex or manipulated, right? So now they're kind of jaded. And now they're saying, because I think I'm done with online dating. It's funny, how many women say that they're done with online dating, yet then they come back to it, right? When they exhaust their other options of trying to meet people in person or trying to meet people in their town, right? And then all the people in their town, they've exhausted those possibilities, right? So now they got to go back to online dating to try to find someone within their surrounding area or within a certain radius and that's going to be compatible with them. So that's just funny for me right there. But anyway, that's going to wrap it up tonight, folks. Again, if you were watching live and you go back and watch the replay, there was a technical glitch I had with my microphone. It cut out. I've been trying to set the gain properly on my audio interface because it has cut out a few times before. I think it overloaded when I talk really loud. And I do have a preamp cloud lifter that, plugs into my Shure SM7B before it gets to my Focusrite audio interface. That's because the Shure is a quiet mic, and without a preamp, it doesn't work really well. But I've been trying to find the right balance, or maybe it's just something that happens every now and then, because I have a loud voice. I'll do some more testing, and hopefully it won't happen in the future. But yeah, if you watch the replay and when I'm on break and I come back from the break and I'm playing music and I do my re-intro, and you don't hear anything, that's what happened. So my apologies for that. With that being said, let's go back to full screen. And I want to thank you all for being here tonight. If you're here watching live, I want to thank you also if you're here watching the replay later tonight or down the road. Please like, share, subscribe, bang the bell, select all notifications so you don't miss anything. And again, thank you to respectfully, maturely, and professionally for being here. My lady, thank you to Sifu Snow Dion for being here. Thank you to Alex the Beer Master for being here earlier tonight. And who else was here? Angels Asylum, thank you for being here. And Sandy McAfee, thank you for being here earlier tonight as well. And California Ford Outdoors, at the beginning of the show said, hey, Coach, or hi, Coach Eli, and all in the chat. Due to a busy schedule, I apologize for not being here. Wonderful topic of the night. Y'all enjoy, and I'll be back soon. Thank you. And I wrote back to her before the show started. No problem, CFO. We'll see you when time permits. Have a great night. Thanks. So thank you to everybody. Have yourselves a great one. See you all next time. And as always, be good to each other.